How can we know the way? Show us this God. For his part, Thomas is confused, and Philip, well, this time around, he's the one that needs more proof. They struggle to understand, they struggle to believe. They don't comprehend this concept of God being so close, so deeply intertwined with Jesus that they could be one. That God and Jesus could be this interior, this close to them. They don't understand the invitation. Thomas and Philip's voiced confusion is ours. In a world rapidly shifting, where what we see and experience lands contrary to the faith we've held fast to, the promises made to us as believers, well, Thomas and Philip say what everyone in the room is quietly thinking. What's going on? We don't know what's happening. We don't know what's next. Show us the way. I saw the movie The Wiz when it came out in the 80s. Back then, it was a blockbuster hit starring Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, and a few others. It also featured the grande chanteuse of her time, the incomparable Lena Horne. Lena played Glinda the Good Witch. And in this version of the story, it centered a young woman on the cusp of leaving the nest, a late bloomer of sorts. Dorothy was certainly old enough to have left home, but for whatever reason, she had not. Dorothy's story is the whirlwind adventure, the crisis termed pilgrimage of losing and finding oneself and a community. It's one of becoming. As the story wraps up with good triumphing over evil, and sadly, the wizard found to be a fraud, they're all left without, in their understanding, the things that they came for: a mind, a heart, and courage. And for Dorothy, that elusive return home. They're afraid. For all of the collective battles they've seen and seem to have won anyway, well, in the end, it seems they've lost. But it's at this moment that Glinda the Good Witch brings the encouragement, the good words offered as reassurance, all before belting out a show-stopping track from that amazing album. Glinda says, "Home is a place we all have to find, child. It's not just a place where you eat or sleep. Home is knowing your mind, your heart, and your courage. When we know ourselves, we're always home, anywhere." Heard today as one of those necessary Black mama terms of endearment, the singular word child. Child, it's encapsulated in Jesus' very first few words. So hear me out. It's implied, if not declared, as the open-armed invitation and embrace to any who need it. Child, fret not your heart, followed by a critical message for all who face crisis. That dwelling is less about physical space than it is about the one who invites us to it. The invitation is to abide. This was my first understanding of home as anything beyond a physical location. I didn't have the theology for it at the time, but its truth landed in me. Glinda went on to say that home, right? She said it's centered in knowing. It's knowing your heart, your mind, your courage. And because I understand The Wiz as a story of theological significance, I'll add that this knowing implicitly centers our identity as beloved in and of God. This is a critical message delivered at a critical time. Dorothy and her friends hear it as they come to the end of themselves. The disciples face it as everything they believed in seems to be crumbling. Jesus says this is where you'll have to go. It is not a building. It is not a room. The dwelling space is in you. The invitation is to deliberately abide, to dwell in this place, this space. Jesus tells us in today's gospel that there are many such dwelling places, and hopes we'll understand what he means when he tells us that he and the Father are one. Where God is, so is he. Where he is, there is God. They dwell one with another and within us. In that respect, there are many such habitations. Our God is a mystical God, and we are on a mystical journey. Christ invites us into this relational union and connection that extends beyond time or space or place. So much of our work as believers is to see beyond seeing, to know beyond knowing. So when Jesus says, I am in the Father and the Father is in me, I get it. I'm never separated from God, and that's true for you as well. If we and as we abide. Today I'm reading the text and understanding the many mansions, those dwellings as you and me, spread out all over the world. The mansions Jesus prepares are not rooms, they are people. We are the dwelling places. Could it be said that in Christ I can find a home not only within myself, but also find a home in you? The Father dwells in Jesus and Jesus in the Father. Jesus prepares the world, populating, as it were, with more and more believers, people of encounter who understand that inward connection to a God who tells us we can be liberated, we can be free. We can inhabit a space called home whenever and wherever. In such a time as this, we all need that kind of reassurance. In John's gospel, to know is never mere intellectual recognition. Knowing is always participatory, it's relational, and it's intimate. Jesus uses this moment and the disciples' confusion to teach about this reciprocal relationship, this mutual indwelling, God in Jesus, Jesus in God, Jesus in us, us in Jesus. The grammar of John 14 is reciprocal throughout the text. This is what Jesus needs us to know. Jesus moves from let your heart be not afraid, to assuring us that we know the way, that we have access to these places as inward dwelling and as a population of people he is yet preparing. Jesus and Glinda the Good Witch would agree. Home is portable, interior, and indestructible. And I prepared this sermon as the attack on Black political power continues. 4 days ago, the Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's congressional map, the one drawn to protect a second majority Black district. They technically kept the Voting Rights Act intact, but Justice Kagan said it herself, what many of us already know. What remains is all but a dead letter. The ruling sets the stage for other states to follow, so maps will be redrawn. Representation will shift. We're talking about the interest and will of a people and this electoral process being all but rigged, all of it with the intention of impacting the 2026 election. So I'm reading it as lines on those maps are being prepared to be manipulated, potentially redefining a community's sense of home. I want to say home cannot be gerrymandered. I'd like to say that. I'd like to say that home cannot be taken away, or that home survives every crumbling. But I know it's not that simple. We have not entered rock bottom, the nadir of this situation, hence the reminder to enter the battle with this centered mind and understanding of God within. We're invited into this relationship. This is the good news, and the good news is the promise of this relationship that tells us over and over again, extends beyond what we can see. That's what we have. We have God and we have each other. And that's significant because just a few verses down, we'll read and be forced to contend with these words. Very truly I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and in fact will do greater works than these, because I am going to the Father. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask me for anything, I will do it. What do we do with those words right now? Jesus says he will do it. These greater works, all that the Father would be glorified, I'm holding that intention today. The world as it should be and the world as it is. Even Jesus' promise to intervene and for us, even when necessary, to simply believe because of what we've already seen, not what we're experiencing right now. What does it mean to ask in his name from within this abiding relationship? I invite you into the questions with me. As the world continues its unfolding, as we witness this profound uncovering, the peeling back of so many harmful layers, I'm holding fast to the promise of that inward dwelling place and to the understanding that there is so much more than I can see, than we can see. There's so much more than we can see. I'm responding to the mystical invitation to the seeing beyond seeing, the knowing beyond knowing. It's what our ancestors did. In what was becoming an increasingly dangerous world, Jesus consoled and instructed those gathered. I'm telling you now because I have to go. This is me paraphrasing again. I am not abandoning you, but while I'm away, do this. Abide here, internally. I'm coming back. This is I am the way. And until I return, the Spirit will keep you. The Spirit tends the dwelling place in my absence. The Spirit is how you'll find your way home. We can sit here for a while with the disciples and do our best to take it all in because it's a lot. It just is. But we don't have much time. Soon we'll have to move on. The news cycle will continue. There will be even greater hurdles to jump, mountains to climb. Family of God, brothers and sisters, children of God, Know that the world is waiting for us. Those who know this abiding, who carry the sense of home beyond a physical space in us, who carry this kind of stubborn, robust, irrefutable hope, and who understand that any battles we face will be first won or lost in the mind. Home is in us, and we have companions beyond these walls all over the world who know this too. Deepen your commitment, friends. Stay ready. This work of home, of God, of love on the inside is what will center and sustain us. I'll say it before Jesus does, and before we reach it in the text. Get up. Let's go.